it is I, John underscore Silva underscore, your favorite streamer. And today, for the Silva Decodes, we have Shabrownik asking, I would like to learn how to choose colors to make the skin livelier, or how to choose shades of purple to the skin with a strong style of drawing the face or body part to add more life. And then there's 2 examples, technically 3. I'm hiding the other one, but the other one is just a variation of the first one. And let me reread again. Choose colors to make the skin livelier, and how to choose shades of purple to the skin with a strong style of drawing the face or body part. Okay, I got it. So the very first thing you need to keep in mind is that, well, most people have different shades or different hue variation throughout the face and body, and there's several factors that affect it. So the common one that you always hear is that, for example, guys, the forehead area generally is yellow, and then the middle section is generally sort of like redder. And then because of guys can grow beards, at least those who can, for the most part, the lower area is gray. Now, in girls, the variation will change compared to guys, and that's ultimately that's the base of it for faces. Now, why does it look redder? The main thing that makes an area in our body look redder or yellower or bluer is skin depth and how much blood circulation you have in that area. So some people will have redder noses than others, and like on the cheeks, this is like obvious stuff. You know, some people have red eyes. Some people have like if their skin is very frail under the eyes, and you have like you can have like bad night or whatever, you're gonna have like bluer tints under the eyes because like you have all the veins, like the skin here is very thin. Sorry. And then you'll see like elbows, the hands tend to be darker and warmer than your face. Not on my camera because, well, it's a shitty fucking camera, but IRL, your hands will be slightly darker than your face. That's why, this is kind of weird, but you should look at, for faces, or even the body, you should actually look at makeup. Now, I know this because I do makeup every day. In fact, I'm wearing makeup right now. I'm actually a girl, and I do makeup to look like a guy. Although I'm failing at that miserably. But makeup tutorials will teach you how to like balance that out and point out where there's like redness, etc. Now, here's the thing. Rashes can make an area. So the surface of the skin can get affected, and like regardless of whether it is thinner or thicker, a rash will always make your skin look red. And if you have any other disease or whatever, it'll look like that too. Now, the yellow parts are usually the ones closer to the bone. Now, the bonier areas tend to be more yellow. I guess some people, for example, my nose bridge, I have a nice schnauzer here, and my nose bridge is actually yellower in the center right here. And the same goes with like my brow bone actually sticks out quite a bit, and it tends to be yellower there. So just bone generally tends to like look more yellow. Now that I'm done explaining that, let's actually get to the point that you wanted, which is I'll paint. So let me paint. Now that you know that as a base, there's another thing you can do, which is that you'll need to keep in mind, which is a hue variation. Now, I've explained this on another decode specifically, so I'm just gonna brush on this one. A hue variation is like, if you have the whole for example, the pink purplish, it's more pink than anything. The pink hand is not actually just a lighter, let me take pink. It's not just a lighter or darker version of that pink. You actually have, so for the dark one, you're gonna have darker, but redder hue, right? So you see me shift the color wheel here. So you're gonna have that. But the lighter one, you're gonna have brighter, but colder, right? So this is your real range, as opposed to just blah and blah. Like, the center one isn't accurate to the effect that you're wanting, right? And it's gonna be more like brighter this. It's gonna be more like you know what, you get the point. I'm actually starting to get in depth. I'm not going to. There's other decodes for that. So once you understand that fact, let's move this out of the way. We'll put it right here. You'll start noticing that the hand is the same but reversed, right? So you're gonna have your shadows are actually gonna be bluer, purple, like blue with a little bit of purple. There you go. And your midtones are like sort of a red-ish, like that. Maybe it's a little too saturated, less desaturated. Yeah, something like this. And then your lights are actually going to be a salmon sort of color, like that. So it goes from saturated. So the darker you go, the more saturated you're gonna be, and the more purple it'll be. But the lighter you'll go, it'll be less and less saturated, or more and more desaturated, however you want to say it, and more towards pink. You know, you go from blue to red to pink, kind of thing going on. Like, I guess you can even do this is fine as well. There you go. Actually, you can add just a little bit more saturation. Oh, that's too much. Fuck. All right, this is fine. And the red one is the opposite. So once you understand that, now I'll demo what I just said. Chat, pick. Which one do you want to see? Pink or blue? I'm gonna do only one though. So chat decides. I'll wait for your answer. Pink or blue? Pink, blue, pink, green, blue, pink. Can you all pick one? You're fucking with me. You're taking turns. Oh, blue is winning now. Pink, blue. Okay, blue won. I decided because there was more blue. All right, let's do blue. So well, I already swatched it, so I'm just gonna use that. There you go. Actually, this one is gonna be better. All right, so let's do the blue hand. First, I'm going to draw it because, well, because I need to have it. Wait, is this on a different layer? No. Okay, let's put it on. It is now. All right, let's just do a quick silhouette. There you go. And now I don't know if this is how the artist specifically started or not. I would start it like this because I need to have the drawing set up first and like silhouetted or whatever, line arted, whatever it is, and only then. No, I'm gonna make this sort of like a mask so that I can get to the end of these decodes faster, so y'all don't have to wait. Okay, so it kind of looks weird as a silhouette, but it'll be fine. Okay, let's just, I'm just gonna adjust here and there because I fucked up. This has nothing to do with the actual decodes at this point. It's just me wanting to do things properly. All right, and okay, this is good enough. The silhouette looks really weird though, like I'm not gonna lie, it looks like ah! But once I add the values, it'll be fine. Okay, so I'm gonna lock transparency on my layer, which means I cannot paint over without having to worry about anything. So what I'm gonna build up from the blue, from the darkest to the lightest. You can do however you want, or yeah, pretty much that. Let's do this a little less purple actually, and I'm gonna outline. I'm gonna go with the darkest first, and then we'll build up from there. Actually, I do think mine is a little too purple. I went kind of ham on that. So the shadows need to be more blue. All right. Let's add a bit more of that blue to it. And now you'll just pay attention to the color wheel that I'm using here. I'm relatively saturated, like at least in this triangle shape is very, you can get to saturation relatively quicker as opposed to if this was a square shape. And where the blue actually goes brighter, it goes a bit towards aqua, like towards green just a little bit. So I'm gonna do that. All right. A little bit brighter. And then I'm just gonna start whatever I see that color, I'm gonna start adding it. While I have that color in hand, I'll add it. Like so. And I'm gonna actually bring back some of that darker shade. So I see it a little bit here, a little bit there. Now let's bring back this. Okay. Now I can tell you right now that I'm not gonna do the whole thing perfectly, because then I'll be here for like 30 minutes or like 20 minutes, but I want these videos to be relatively, or these highlights to be relatively short, but I just want to show you how I like would naturally work towards the colors. Is mainly that. Okay, so the bigger area of effect is going to be the actual pink. So I'm avoiding to add that for now, and let's just get into it. So I'm gonna go from the edges to the center. Honestly, you can do however you want. Like I can add this whole area just to like lay it over if I want to. It doesn't really matter how you go about it. You can do your own version, but I'm gonna start adding that here. There's not too much, and you can like start blending both. And now I'm gonna jump right into where the light is, which is a salmon sort of color, and the blue actually needs to be brighter here. I think I'm pretty sure I'm going too bright for the salmon shape. What's up, Scully? Soup is ready now. I can enjoy the decode while eating. Pogu. All right, so I'm just gonna add here, and obviously you're caring about where your light goes, etc. And I'm using the opacity of my brush to both mix in colors and not go like too bright in areas. So once I start blending in, you'll start seeing that we're gonna have those gradients. And again, you wanna keep the value in mind. The value is like really important, otherwise your hands will look flat. Also, my hands are not as accurately drawn as a reference, but it's good enough where you start seeing similarities. And honestly, at this point, it's just a matter of wait, there you go. At this point, it's just a matter of, oh, there's some areas, I didn't mention this, there's some areas that are quite saturated. I think this is just artistic liberty, where creases in general tend to be more saturated. Like if you look at your hands, the creases of your hands are like darker and more saturated. You can kind of mimic or overemphasize that effect for style. So that's kind of like what the artist is doing here. Actually, creases in general like are a very good way to add some interest, some saturation interest without fucking shit up too much. All right. Add a little bit here, but as you can see, I'm getting there. And I'm also not gonna keep going for too much because, well, point taken. You know what I mean? Also, it doesn't help that my background is gray, so the colors against it, I'm gonna keep it gray though, because all the decodes have gray background. But you can start seeing that, especially if I lower the size of it. There you go. Well, actually, I'll make it a little bit bigger. We'll start getting there more and more as we keep blending the colors, and it is a process that you need to keep going back and forth, just like do that. But yeah, as long as you group your, this is what you would call you're grouping your values and you're grouping your colors and their saturation, so you're like boxing them in places and they don't like overlap too much. Like you want to keep them in very selective areas. So here we are. So like, for example, there's a couple of areas here. There's a little bit of blue where they do overlap. So like there's blue in the light area is what I'm trying to say when I mean overlap. When we decided that light area equals salmon or pink or red. So, but in the areas that they do overlap, it's like very like small amount. And as long as you do that, as long as you don't like overdo, if you start adding blue here, like fucking, you know, like you start going ham with like mixing it, it's just gonna look messy. You know, you're not gonna have that nice gradient that you see in the reference on the right. Right, so group your values and group your colors and their saturation. And if they do overlap, it's okay. It creates interest and contrast. Just don't do too much, otherwise you'll go from like having contrast and adding a point of interest to just making it look like it's dirty. And you know what? Like, I think I've done enough. My point has been made across, and y'all can just, from this point on, I would just continue refining and refining and refining until it's like as close as I can. My hand is fucked, mate. Let's do quick, just for the sake of my thumb was like way too much to the back. Now it's like pretty close. There you go. Easy cheat. Yeah, honestly, that is pretty much it. If you're watching this as if you're watching this video as a highlight or whatever on Twitch, welcome to Silva Decodes. All you gotta do, if you're a pleb, just be here when I do the Silva Decodes, which is once a week, and post your questions in the chat along with the link. Follow the thing at the top that I have in there, and your questions will be answered. For those questions that are not answered within one stream, I will continue where I left off every session. So if I can only answer today 10 questions, but I got like 20 in one stream, don't worry, next session I'm gonna start from the 11th. If you're a sub, you can pay to not wait and join our Discord and post in the Silva Decodes sub only room. If you do not have a Discord, or you don't want to be bothered to do that, that's fine. Your question will still be answered technically first, because you can ask ahead of time. So I have been John_Silva_, your favorite streamer, and I'll see you on the next Decodes. Blah, 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 blah. Goodbye.